close to being done. Woohoo! Woo! Chapter 65. Open the door. The hallway of Blixen Arms emitted the same green, gloomy light no matter the time of day or night. "Watch out for the cat," said Flora. "The infamous Mr. Claus," said William Spiver. He looked around. He was smiling. "The cat who was defeated by a superhero squirrel. I will certainly keep an eye out for him, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but may I just say again what a delight it is to see. Talk about being born anew. Nothing will ever escape my notice." "Goody," said Tooty. "I'm not kidding," said Flora. "Mr. Claus could be anywhere." "Yes," said William Spiver. "My eyes are open. They are open indeed." "Knock again," said Tooty. Flora knocked again. Where could her father be in the middle of the night? Had someone kidnapped him too? Was it a kidnapping if it was an adult? Or was it that adult napping? George Buckman napping? And then she heard her father laugh. But the laugh wasn't coming from his apartment. It was coming from apartment 267. "Dr. Mishcom," said Flora. "Who?" said William Spiver. "Dr. Mishcom, knock on the door quick," said Flora to William Spiver. She pointed, and William Spiver raised his hand to knock, just as the door to Dr. Mishcom's apartment swung wide. "Florabelle," said Dr. Mishcom, "my little flower, our beloved." She was smiling very big. Her teeth were glowing. Ulysses was sitting on her shoulder. Behind Ulysses and Dr. Mishcom was Flora's father. He was wearing his pajamas. His hat was on his head. George Buckman, said her father, slowly raising his hat to them all. "How do you do?" "Ulysses?" said Flora. She said his name like a question, and he answered her. He flew to her. His small, warm, hopeful body hit her with a thud that almost knocked her off her feet. Aww. She wrapped her arms, her hands, herself around him. "Ulysses," she said, "I love you." "So much happiness," said Dr. Mishcom. "This is how it was when I was a girl in Blunder Machine." Like this, always. Always opening the door in the middle of the night and finding the face of someone you wanted to see. Well, not always. Sometimes it was the face of someone you did not want to see. But always in Blunder Machine, you opened the door because you could not stop hoping that on the other side of it would be the face of someone you loved. Dr. Mishcom looked at William Spiver and then at Tooty. She smiled, and maybe, too, the face of someone you did not know yet. Dr. Mishcom looked at William Spiver and then at Tooty. She smiled. "And maybe, too, the face of someone you did not know yet, but might come to love." "Tooty Tickum," said Tooty. "It's a pleasure to meet you, and this is my nephew William. I would shake your hand, but as you can see, I am in charge of this lamp." "Actually," said William Spiver, "I'm her great-nephew, and my name is William Spiver, and I realize that it is early in our acquaintance for me to be revealing such astonishing and deeply personal information, but I must tell you that I was temporarily blind, and now I can see. Also, I feel compelled to say that your face is beautiful to me. In fact, every face is beautiful to me." He turned. "Your face, Florabelle, is particularly beautiful. Even the spectral gloom of this hallway cannot dim your loveliness." "Spectral gloom?" said Flora. That is because she is a flower," said Flora's father. "My lovely flower." Flora felt herself blushing. It is a lovely face, the face of Florabelle Buckman," said Dr. Mishcom. "It is truly beautiful. And you have all stood long enough outside. You must come inside. Now, come." 6. Will you please shut up, William Spiver? "So," said Dr. Mishcom, "we have been speaking with Ulysses. We have been working to understand his story. From what we have put together so far, it involves a shovel and a sack in the woods and a poem." "And a giant donut," said Flora's father. Ulysses, sitting on Flora's shoulder, nodded vigorously. A distinctly fishy smell emanated from his whiskers. Flora turned to him. Flora turned to him. "Where's my mother?" she said. Ulysses shook his head. "Pop?" said Flora. "Where's Mom?" I'm not certain, said her father. He adjusted his hat. He tried to put his hands in his pockets, and then he realized he was wearing pajamas and had no pockets. He laughed. Holy bagumba, he said softly. We need a typewriter, said Flora. Ulysses nodded. We need a typewriter so we can get the truth, said Flora. The truth, said William Spiver, is a slippery thing. I doubt that you will ever get to the truth. You may get a version of the truth, but the truth, I doubt it very seriously. Will you please shut up, William Spiver, said Flora. Shh, said Dr. Meashcombe. Calm. You should maybe sit and eat a sardine. I don't want a sardine, said Flora. I want to know what happened. I want to know where my mother is. Just as she said those words, there was a bang, which was followed by a long, bone-chilling yowl, which in turn was followed by a very loud scream. What was that? Said William Spiver. That's Mr. Claus, said Flora. He's attacking someone. There was another scream, and then came the words, George! George! Uh-oh, said Flora's father. It's Phyllis. Mom, said Flora. Ulysses tensed. He dug his claws into Flora's shoulder. Flora looked at him. He nodded. And then Flora's father was running out the door, and Flora was behind him, and William Spiver was behind her. Another of her mother's screams echoed down the hallway. George! George! She shouted. Please tell me that my baby is here. Flora turned and said to Tootie, Bring the lamp. She's worried about Mary Ann. There's another scream. It was time, again, for the squirrel to vanquish a villain. It was time for Ulysses to rescue his arch nemesis. I'm on it. I'm bringing the lamp. So that's Tootie bringing the lamp. George! Oh man, Mr. Claus is going wild. Who will prevail? Who will be vanquished? Please, George, tell me that Flora is here. Me? Thought Flora. She's here, said her father. Flora's mother started to cry. Everyone needs to calm down, said Tootie. I've got it. She waded into the fray and whacked Mr. Claus over the head with Mary Ann. The cat fell to the ground, and the little shepherdess, as if she were astonished by her own act of violence, crumbled. Her face, beautiful, perfect pink face, broke. There was a tinkle and a crash as the pieces of Mary Ann's head hit the floor. Oops, said Tootie. I broke her. Uh-oh, said Flora. But her mother wasn't looking at the lamp or what was left at the lamp. She was looking at Flora. Flora, her mother said. Flora, I went home and you weren't there. I was terrified. Here she is, said William Spiver. He gave Flora a gentle shove towards her mother. Here I am, said Flora. Her mother stepped over the pieces of the little broken shepherdess. She took Flora in her arms. My baby, said her mother. Me? Said Flora. You, said her mother. Okay, well, that's almost the last reading. Tomorrow's going to be the last reading. Yay! So, just one question. Why was Flora surprised that her mom was looking for her? What did Flora think her mom was trying to do? So, why was Flora surprised that her mom was looking for her? Okay, cool, and I'll see you tomorrow.